In this lesson, we're going to be creating this 3D text style, which is pretty easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to start by creating a composition. You can press this or down here. Let's name it 3D text. Set your dimensions. I will go with 1920 by 1080. And also set your duration. I think 10 seconds will do nicely. And now we have our composition. Let's go ahead and type in our text. Command A and just stylize it here. Let's make mine a little larger, and you want to choose a pretty bulky font. I'm going to stick with Arial Black. Choose your color. White will do nicely for me. Hit OK once you're finished. Now grab the Align tab and center this text. I think we have to go a little larger. Hold down Command, double click to center the anchor point. So in order to work with that 3D style, we actually need a different renderer, which we can simply turn on and off while we're working with After Effects. So go to your composition settings, or Command K. And right over here, we're going to head over to the 3D renderer section. And by default, it's on Classic 3D. And we're just going to change this into Cinema 4D. Now go to Options, and you want to make sure that this is quite low, and that way we can have a smoother experience and you won't put too much pressure on your computer. Hit OK. Let's turn our text into 3D by clicking this button. And now we're going to open up the text. You can see that we have this geometry option, which we didn't before. Now this geometry option is related to 3D, so that's why we had to change the renderer in order to get this. So open up Geometry Options, and we're going to add to the extrusion depth. So just press it on. And now when I grab my Rotate tool, we're gonna get like a bulky back. You can see when I'm going front and back, something's changing. So it's kind of making this into a block rather than a flat thing, which is what we had before. So at 0, we have this flat text, but at like 40 or more, we're going to have a pretty bulky text. You can see that we're getting a nice little block. Add more to this, you're going to get a bulkier text. Remove from it, you're going to get a flat line. So I will go with a good 80%. Want mine to be pretty bulky. Grab Y and just push it back. But the problem is that we can't really tell that this has that bulky setting. When I bring it back like this, we can't see that it's looking like a block, but it's not that visible. So we're going to have to work with some of our light settings. So let's go ahead and go to Layer, New, and add a light. Turn to Spotlight, make sure that this is turned on. I'm going to leave the settings as default, then hit OK. So now with our Spotlight, it's pretty easy to tell that there is a bulky text. If I bring this light around, you can see that we're getting a pretty good result. So hit P on your Spotlight, and these are the positions for X, Y, and Z. You can change the way the light is, and it helps to choose a vibrant color for the rim so you can see exactly where the outline goes. So we got X, Y, and Z. I'm going to bring back Z so we get more of our text. Use X to kind of bring it towards this corner. And I think I'll keep Y around here. I'm going to hit R on my keyboard. I'm going to use the orientation to kind of bring it out like this. Use Z one more time. And there we go. So there's my text. It's looking all right. And now we're just going to go into the options for our light. So I'm going to open it up like this. Close Transform and instead go to Light Options. So set intensity to 100. So go down here to Shadow Diffusion and increase that amount to about this much. You can also change the color of your light. Since we had it white on the text and it's white here, you can just click and get a different light. Let's try a nice blue. There we go. You can do that if you'd like. I'm going to go with a brighter color so we can see the sides. By the way, if you hit down Command Y or Control Y, make a white solid, you can see the edges of your text. And now it's time to create our camera layer. So just go to Layer, New, Camera. For here, I'm going to go with 2-node camera. Let's change the focal length. Choose a preset right here. I think 35 will do. Hit OK. And now using the camera, we can decide exactly how we want the movements to be. So personally for me, I wanted to kind of start from the center of the text, zoomed in, and then pound outward slowly and have the light kind of reveal our text. Hit P on the camera layer, zoom in onto our text. We can use the different views. Let's go to 2 view. So this right now, I'm going to select text. This right now is my text. This is my camera. So using position Z, I'm just going to go really in towards the middle, like that. Make a keyframe for position, come to the end of my, not the end, maybe like 8 seconds. Then just go backwards to reveal the entire text again. There we are. So we're going to be zoomed in and then slowly we're making our way out. In real speed, it's going to be pretty slow. So if you want it to be faster, just bring this guy in closer. So that's the movement for my camera. I'm just going to close this off. Hit fit on my thing. I'm going to go back to where we can see our text fully. Change this back to one view. And now we're going to go back into our text, open it up. We're going to add the bevel style. So when you add this, it's going to enhance the highlights and the shadows, just as it would be on a 3D object in real life. So this is still looking a little flat, and therefore we're going to choose the style to be convex, increase the depth, and I'm sure you can see that we're getting this corner, which is great. Gonna add to the depth and just play around with it, see which one looks best for you. 9 will do nicely for me. If we didn't have any for this, it would have looked this way, which looks pretty flat. So it's really important to add this or else it would not look 3D. Just gonna use my light, hit P, or maybe we can just zoom in here. Hold down the spacebar and grab the light right here. Pull it towards the edge and grab the center as well. Kind of do something like this. Have one light go this way, and then I'm just gonna duplicate my spotlight. I'm gonna grab my second light and bring it in this way. Be sure to grab the center as well. So I'm going to do something like this. We got the source on the letters, the 2 main letters. And at the same time, I'm going to type in intensity in the search bar. Make sure you have this selected and just reduce from the intensity. Do that for both the lights. And now I'm just going to turn off and delete my white solid and see what it looks like from the outside. There you go, we got this light. So this is the finished light. I'm also going to add another light. So go back to layer, new light. Going to go for this type, hit OK. And we're just going to open this up and reduce the intensity to around 14. Just a little bit of light. I think we should go with a lower number. something like this. Just illuminates the entire thing. Now let's grab a new adjustment layer and put in a blur effect. I'm gonna get camera lens blur added on top of our adjustment layer. Then hit U on our camera, go to the second keyframe, set a 0 blur radius keyframe, and once we hit U, we can see the keyframe. Go to the first keyframe and just add to the blur radius amount. I think I'll go with 90 for the first keyframe. Let's try 60. Because we want to still be able to see the edges, but not as sharp as it is right now. So now it's going to be blurry and it comes into focus when we zoom out. You can bring this guy in closer so it reveals and sharpens faster. And now we're about done. I'm going to move my adjustment layer underneath my camera layer. That's looking pretty good. Now hit M on all of your layers. We're going to bring in another spotlight layer for our animation. So light, spotlight, and set the current settings that you see right here. Hit OK, and we're getting this really intense lighting. Now with this light, I'm going to kind of fade in the text using the darkness that the spotlight brings. So in the next lesson, we're going to do that and just finish off the effect. I'll see you guys there.